This episode of the SHL podcast is brought to you by the Big Chili magazine, where in this issue there's a great article about Chris Cracker, the founder and CEO of Karma Studios, which is located in Bang Sarai. He's been helping Thai musicians realize their full potential at home and abroad since 2009. You can read the full article in the Big Chili magazine titled Chris Cracker, Maestro and Music Master.
Welcome back to the SHL News. I'm Zack, and today we're joined by
Preet Marwaha.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I believe it's your first time on.
Yeah,
SHL
it is.
News.
And it's great to be here. It is my first time. I'm definitely a rookie. Here to learn some of the tricks of the trade from you. And honestly, I'm actually quite honored to be here because I know this is your last. And so it's good. I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. As some of you may or may not know, I'm going back to the United States at the end of this calendar year. So Christmas time approaching. I'm looking forward to seeing my girlfriend and I's families. But yes, thank you so much. And really, I have to give credit to Dom, the man behind the camera right now. He does all of this work, and it wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you, Dom. And it's great to have you here, Preet. I hope you can continue to join the SHL News. But getting to the games, this was week 5 of the games, and I was really looking forward to this first game tonight because it was a rematch of the top 2 teams in the standings, KCG versus Lexicon Lumberjacks.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, looking at the stats and the score sheets, these 2 teams seem like they're definitely dominating from a statistics, scoring perspective. So yeah, tell me about the match.
All the leading scorers in the league highlighted in this match tonight, and I was expecting kind of a tight game, but I was even surprised at the final product. But that's what we got in the first period. Both teams kind of filling each other out, not a whole lot of chances. But about halfway through the first period, we had Nick Lamson unassisted. He pulled a great move to deke around the defense and pull the Lexicon Lumberjacks goaltender, which was, forgive me, it was Ben, right? Ben, out of position and score, opening the scoring. Nick's been solid all year. He's now tied for the league lead in points scored.
Yeah, with Kim.
Correct. On the opposite side, Arola, his counterpart tonight.
So, I mean, they traded goals between Nick at the end of the day, one out because he got a couple.
The tight continuedness, the tight game continued into the second period with Lexicon going again down, this time 2 more goals. The thing that surprised me most about this game was the depth scoring from different guys. We had Jan Isaacson among the league leaders in goals scored, assisted by Brandon Vick.
I'm looking at it going, the depth is there. Obviously, there's a lot of guys contributing. Nick still leads the way, though. He's got a couple of goals, got a point. You throw Jesse in there for one, and a few of the other guys. This is the, and I'm having played ball hockey with a bunch of these guys. I'm looking at it, and I don't know the Lumberjacks as well as I know the KCG guys because I played ball hockey with a lot of them, and I look at it and go, wow, they've got a pretty stacked team. So. But you're saying, we've got the top 2 teams, right?
Well, Dennis on the other side for Lexicon on the back end has been a force coming into this game. He was among the league leaders in points scored. Justin St. their captain, not so much on the point department, but just consistent, controlling play. Ken Kinborn, one of the top players of Thai hockey. I believe he's the captain of the Thai national team. Always a threat. So this is a very deep and talented squad for Lexicon. Coming into the game, they were undefeated. And KCG, in a really tight affair in their first match, almost could have won that game. I believe they lost in overtime. Yarir Kainen, really quality player. So this team is stacked on both sides. And KCD, like I mentioned, just continuing to kind of control the play. They didn't give a lot of chances. Anytime that there was a clean shooting lane at Dom, he would make the save. They would get the puck out, so not a lot of second chance opportunities for Lexicon. And Jesse, only about 3 minutes after this goal scored by Jan Isaacson, able to put in a rebounder. Again, Nick Lamson starting this play, another great move. Jesse, captain, able to finish. So now, second period over, it's 3-0.
So, look, every team has its day, right? They have their moments, undefeated. Eventually, you're going to have a loss. When you've got 2 teams as deep as they are, a lopsided game, you always wonder, like, how does that happen? Does one team just fall asleep? And Or, you got a team that is coming in undefeated, everybody's after them. Everybody wants to take them down. I mean, we see it in every league, in every sport, right? You put that little extra effort in, you take a little more, pride in wanting to beat them.
I agree 100%. I was just a bit surprised offensively that Lexicon seemed to have so much difficulty solving the KCG defense and Dom and net. As I mentioned, coming into this game, they've controlled the play, scored. In the opening match, I believe they put up 4 or 5 goals on KCG. So I was a little surprised at their lack of, offensive firepower. But going into the third, it's only a 3-0 game, and you think maybe if Lexicon can just scratch a goal across and just try and get back in this game, it'll change things. But it didn't get much better. KCG is continuing their balanced offensive attack. Paul Stoddart, the 4th different goal scorer at 12:57 in the third period, this time assisted by Jan. And then just a couple minutes after that, Nick Lamson, once again, one of the best players in this game, one of the best players in this league, coming through for KCG. It's a 5-0 lead. I thought Dom was going to get the shutout, and he was looking solid, but unfortunately, just under 5 minutes left to play. Bit of a miscue by the KCG team defense. They tried to get a breakout pass, throwing across the ice, across your goal, in your own zone. Not a great idea, and can't give a guy like Kimarola time and space to have the puck, pick his shot, and go. And Lexicon finally able to scratch across a goal, but it was a little too little too late, and our final score 5-1.
Right. Wow. I mean, it sounds like Dom definitely stole the show, for the most part. And that's all it takes. You get one hot goal, you can shut down the best in the world. You see it at the high levels in the NHL and the other leagues as well, and you get a goalie that goes on a run, that confidence builds. So yeah, it's unfortunate he didn't get the shutout.
But like I said, controlled. And he didn't make it look difficult. Everything looked easy for him. I think it was his positioning. I think Dom just did a really good job in this game of tracking the puck. On the opposite side, Ben, I hadn't had many games played. I know he had to come back from the United States, I believe. Wasn't his strongest game, but just a couple seasons ago, because of the COVID break, he was one of the best goaltenders in the SHL, playing for the Novotel Spitfires, I believe. So I know he can get back to grade A play, and we're excited to see the next rematch between these teams. Dom, with his excellent night, only the 1 goal allowed, won the player of the game, and our Dom had the interview.
I'm here with the Get Fresh Player of the Game, Dom. Congratulations.
Thank you. Team played very good. If I couldn't get to the puck, they threw their bodies in front. Team chemistry is pretty good so far, and I think we're going to have a lot more wins like this in the future as well.
You guys played really dominantly. You had a great game until Kimmy got that lucky goal at the end, but wow, great game. What was going through your head at the start of the game?
Talked to Jess a little bit. He said, let's win this. Let's get the first place. So, if we play together as a team, we can win. Everybody can win against everybody in this league.
Excellent. Well, congratulations again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
In our second game of the night, we had Team Aware going against SiamMandalay. And coming into this game, SiamMandalay was winless. I was about to say undefeated. Was winless, was defeated every time. And Aware with only the 1 win against Siam in their prior matchup. So I was looking for the underdog, SiamMandalay, to try and finally scratch across a W.
Right, so you've got the two bottom teams here, going against each other. You would expect a high-scoring affair. They're both going to go after each other. You got one team that's desperate to get at least a win on the board. And it looks like, it ended up being a blowout.
Yeah, it wasn't a great end result, but coming in, I thought it was going to be a tighter matchup. I really feel for Mike Friesen, captain of SiamMandalay, coming into this game winless. It's pretty difficult because the last time we had a season, he was captain of the dominant team, Novotel Spitfires, that, unfortunately because of the pandemic, we couldn't see how the final ended, but they were just, I think they had 1 or 2 losses on the entire season, which is such a quality squad. And top 2 picks, him and Tom Stasny, in my opinion, I thought coming into the season, wow, they have their 2 top-line centers. They're just going to control play. And unfortunately, Siam on the back line didn't have a lot of proven defenders that would be comfortable in that position, and therefore, kind of struggled a little bit. Tom played back defense a couple times, and maybe Friesen made a mistake not picking Christoph. and some of the other guys he might have been able to take. It's also difficult because both teams are facing some injury problems. They're not having their full rosters sometimes. That's a challenge for everybody. But it was just surprising. Immediately on the start of this game, though, I saw Tom Stasny playing forward. It was actually Friesen and Stasny playing together on the same line. And as you can see from the score line, it quickly generated a spark.
It's kind of like putting McDavid and Draisaitl together. The two top guys, they get the chemistry and get rolling. They become hard to stop.
And it was really fun tonight, before I get too far ahead of myself, to have some of our favorite players who were not participating as full-time available as subs. Yeen, one of the hardest, if not the hardest shot in the SHL, was subbing in this game. It was really fun to see him. Tor, elder statesman of Thai hockey, was able to play as well. I'm sure there's other guys. Moo had a really strong game. So it was really fun to see some of these guys playing. Rumor has it Tor once back in the league. I would be excited to see him play on a regular basis. So, as I was saying, SiamMandalay, though, really quickly getting into an offensive groove. Captain Mike Friesen scoring only about halfway into the period, assisted by Jeff Bonazzo, who had a really strong game in my opinion, and Dan Sinagulia. Have you seen Friesen play? What do you think about his game?
Yeah, he's I haven't seen him a lot, so I can't. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say I'm an expert, but what I have seen, freewheeling. Like, it's one thing I like about the way Mike plays the game. He knows the ice very, very well, and he knows how to get himself and take the puck into the places where you need to be. And sometimes it's not the easiest thing. Yeah, we see it in the NHL, and you think, it's pretty easy. You start playing, in a league like SHL, where it's not as easy. He makes it look easy, and that's what I have to say about the game. It's just he's freewheeling out there, which is nice. It's good to have that, and obviously showed on his score sheet.
He had quite a game. We'll get into it. And kind of a backbreaker. First couple minutes of each period, and the end of each period, is really danger time. And again, credit to Dan Sinagulia for just playing really hard in this game, along with line mate Jeff Bonazzo. Sinagulia, with less than 2 minutes left in the first period, getting the second across for SiamMandalay. Also assisting on this play was number 12, Kak, one of our other subs. So going into the first period, SiamMandalay now with a 2-0 advantage.
Right. Yeah, and then even it was close, so to speak, until the final few minutes, and they just kind of, it's like, Aware fell apart.
Yeah,
they were no longer aware of what was happening on the ice.
We'll get into that. In the second period, Aware with a little bit of a comeback, though, able to get their first goal across and make it a 2-1 game at the time. This time they had the goal by Patrick Forstner, and assisted by Yeen, one of our super subs. So Patrick, another veteran of the Thai national team, excellent goal scorer. You want to give him that time and space that he can try and score, and they were able to do it on this play. I believe he just kind of went end-to-end using his speed and got free and got the shot. But unfortunately for Aware, as you were just alluding to, near the end of the second period, they just kind of let it steamroll. And with 3 goals in a 3-minute period, SiamMandalay really able to take command. And it should be noted that Aware was just kind of struggling, losing a couple of their players. So even though they do have Yeen, super sub, he's not fresh. He's not, as familiar chemistry-wise with a lot of these guys. So it's tough losing some of your regular starters. But as I was saying, Siam just poured it on. Tom Stasny with a goal assisted by Friesen and Andy Shee. Another goal scored by Stasny at the end of the period. And in between, number 5, Moo, our super sub, able to scratch across. So just like that, from a 2-1 game into a 5-1 game going into the third period.
Yeah, I mean, Stasny just kind of seems like went on a mission in the last few minutes and just took over.
Yeah, each of these goals, assisted by Friesen. So Friesen, Stasny, the top lines, Dan Sinagulia as well, I believe, was also skating on one of those lines. Jeff Bonazzo skating on one of those lines. They just took it to Team Aware. Aware had some chances, but similar to the previous game that I alluded to earlier, just able to kind of take away time and space and not let James get comfortable in the Aware net. He was peppered all night, and he did save several of these, but he had a tough evening. I didn't feel like Team Aware's defense did a good job of supporting him, of taking away shooting lanes, of taking away the rebound chances, and you can only do so much as the goaltender.
Yeah, no question. you've got to back up your goaltender. You've got to be there for the goaltender, and especially when you've got a couple of guys that are hot, so to speak.
On the other end, Igor was his first start of the season, and he really shined. I mean, facing 25 shots and only letting a couple in for SiamMandalay, just really good job, Igor. Really got to give you credit coming in first game of the season. Well done. As I was talking about, SiamMandalay just continuing the pressure throughout the third period, and they just extended their lead even farther. We had more goals from Dan Sinagulia, from Friesen, and from 33 CJ Gamble. So Captain Mike Friesen, as you can see, with a 5-point night on the evening, 2 goals scored, and line mate Thomas Stasny also with a fantastic night. Counting them up, I see 2 goals scored, an assist.
3 goals.
3 goals scored, excuse me.
Hat trick and an assist.
Hattie, the Hattie for Tom. Sorry, Tom. If that name sounds familiar, it is. Related to the famous Stasnys of the NHL fame. So it's really fun to see these guys play. I mean, fast, exciting hockey. Unfortunately for Aware, just kind of got caught on a bad night by the big white machine.
Yeah, and they, like I said, they were. You got 2 squads sort of struggling at the bottom. Sometimes it happens. You get one of them just gets hot or comes out with fire and on a mission to get a win, right? I mean, you get desperate. Desperate hockey teams can play some phenomenal hockey.
And for me, I think the biggest change is just CM Captain Friesen putting Stasny back at forward his more natural position, and you can see how much it shined in this game. And really, some of his role players coming forward, really playing well. Ed McConnell had a really solid game. Ralph on the back end's always been playing really solid. Andy's been playing really solid on the back end, so it's good to see these guys. Andy Shee as well. Conversely, for Aware, I mean, you look at their roster, and they're not lacking for goals because they're scoring relatively consistency, but it's just not really able to play a full game, full 3 periods of hockey. Like I mentioned, missing Oleg and Corey Day is really rough. So they're without 2 of their premier goal scorers coming into the season, unfortunately due to injury for Corey. And like I said, James kind of had a rough night, but you'd like to see them kind of pull themselves up a little bit and kind of get back into it next game. I know Captain Harrison Ostamel doesn't like losing. He's used to winning with his days, formerly the captain of KCG, and Peak, I believe, as well. And so I expect him to get back into it. I expect guys like Patrick Forstner, Ernesto Bauer, Devin Michael White, Eric Fowley to really buckle down and get back into it. I'm excited for the next game they're going to play and see how they do against a big chance against one of the top 2 teams in the league, either KCG or Lexicon. I'm going to have to check the roster. Player of the game this time, as we mentioned, with the Hattie, Tom Stasny. Dom had that interview.
I'm here with the Get Fresh Player of the Game, Tom. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Finally a win. That's what we needed. Played solid in the defensive zone to start with, so built from the back and helps us going. And also, I gotta say, I changed my routine. I went to a pool party before, so trying to make it a bit more relaxed.
I think it worked for you tonight.
Yeah, it did. So hopefully it's a good start for us. I mean, a good start. It was a tough start, and finally we're on the good, hopefully on the good rails, and we'll keep going.
Excellent. Well, congratulations again. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Looking ahead to next games, we've got Lexicon versus Aware in the opener. Aware's going to have a little bit of a tough draw. Lexicon's going to have a bad taste in their mouth coming off their first loss, but I'd like to see Aware, Captain Harrison Ostamel, the rest of the skaters, put up a fight, see how they do against one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, and look, I think both teams got a bad taste in their mouth. To be honest with you,
True.
Right? So there's going to be some fire and some motivation on both sides to come out strong. And Aware's, they've already got their work cut out for them going up against Lexicon, so they're going to have to bring their A game. And maybe sometimes you take a shellacking, and it really inspires you to come out and do better. And that's hopefully what we'll see, because it could be a great game.
And in the nightcap, we've got SiamMandalay and KCG, each squad coming off big wins. Siam getting their first win of the season in dominant fashion, 8-2 over Team Aware. You saw Captain Mike Friesen, Thomas Stasny back on forward position, Igor having his first start in a fantastic game. So I'm really looking forward to see how they go against the top dog of the league now. Team KCG, Captain Jesse Starosta, and that entire squad looking so dominant and really handling Lexicon and giving them their first loss of the season in the previous week's game. I'm looking forward to this nightcap.
Yeah, look, it should be a great one. You know, if SiamMandalay can continue a bit of the fireworks, and you know, Friesen and Stastny continue that chemistry, and you got, you know, on the back end a couple of great passing guys. It could either be one of those like 2-1 games, or I'd love to see an 8-7 game.
Yeah, you know, it could be really high scoring, but at the same time, you know, I'm looking at the goaltenders, and each one only giving up a couple goals, I believe, in their prior, or one goal in the case of Dom, you know, in their prior game. So I'm going to predict a little bit of a tighter game. I'm going to say maybe a 3-2 tighter game. And hope you guys can join us. I just want to, first of all, give a huge thank you to Dom and the entire SHL community for allowing me to be a small part of it. It's been a fantastic time, and I really appreciate all the kindness and all of the fun that we've gotten to have together. You guys are fantastic players, and I've really appreciated it. I want to wish everybody a happy holiday season, whatever you're celebrating. I'll be with Christmas in my family. I'm rocking the crawfish for Louisiana. Apparently, Scotty Hockey called the governor of Louisiana and said that there's a full no-trade clause from the SHL. I haven't finished my contract yet. So he said he's going to have to veto the trade to Louisiana.
Yeah, look, and I would just like to echo, you know, thank you for all of your, you know, participation and support in the community. You've done a fantastic job. I've had the pleasure to work with you in a number of broadcasts. I'd like to say that, you know, we made a dynamic duo in the broadcast booth, and we had a lot of fun. You know, called it like kind of was, and you know, took the shots where they needed to be taken. So, and I'm, you know, with my first one here and on the podcast, I'm certainly was not expecting to just take off. So, we'll be thinking about you on all of our future broadcasts. So, thank you for all the hard work you put in. Dom, thank you for having me a part of this. Thank you for inviting me into the community. I'm looking forward to being a part of this for some time.
I'll still be there for the last game of the 22 part of our schedule on December 15th, 8:45 local time first game, 9:45 second game. We hope to see you at the rink.
Fantastic. Signing out. Have a great night, and all the best to everybody in the holiday season coming up.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
The opposite was very strong. I was good.
The Sport Corner's Siam Hockey League news is brought to you by Big Chili Magazine, the best read expat lifestyle and news magazine in Thailand. It covers interesting issues in Bangkok and the region while bringing its readers engaging stories and various exclusive interviews, food reviews, and more. You can find the Big Chili Magazine in bookstores and online at thebigchili.com. The music for the opening and ending credits are brought to you by DJ Caucasian.